What's up, Spice Droppers? It's Charlie from Ferndale. So a good friend of mine, a chef, told me that I have to try this. So let's get cooking. So what makes this mac and cheese giant? Well, obviously it's the ingredients. We're gonna start with 16 ounces of jumbo shells. Not the mini, medium shells, small shells, whatever. We're gonna boil these for 9 minutes and then we're gonna strain them and set them aside. We also have about 12 ounces or 1 ring of smoked sausage. Now normally I would go into mac and cheese, normal mac and cheese with like bacon bits or something, but I got big chunky pieces here that we're gonna pan sear and then put them in. And since it's giant, might as well go buy a huge block of cheese at Costco. I'm using medium cheddar here. You can use any kind of cheeses you want really, preferably ones that melt down well. We're gonna use about 5 cups of this after it's shredded, which will come out to a little over a pound. And I also have some Parmesan Reggiano, about a cup that we're gonna put in there. All right, so the shells are ready to go. Pro tip, put some olive oil on them so they don't stick together while they're waiting. I have a very large frying pan here that I'm using because we are gonna end up making a bechamel in this and it would overflow if we were using a normal frying pan. So I'm gonna go ahead, put some oil in the bottom here. It's regular vegetable oil. I got my smoked sausage here. We're gonna brown this up and then we're gonna put it on a plate with some paper towel to rest. All right, so now you can see we already have some oil in here. And when we're making a roux, what you wanna do is have equal parts fat to flour. So because we already have some oil in here, I'm only gonna put in 7 tablespoons of butter, which is 1 tablespoon less than a full stick. And we want this to be on very low heat because we do not want this butter to burn at all. And while that melts down, I'm gonna take some onion here. I have a bunch of chopped onion here, but I'm gonna put about 1/2 of an onion. And I also have some red pepper here that's completely optional. So I'm gonna throw in 1 chopped red pepper. Hugo's got it coming. All right, butter's melted. The veggies have been sauteing / steaming for a couple minutes now. So I got 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour that I'm just gonna sprinkle over the top of everything. And this is how you make the roux. Now, I hope you got your whisk ready because we're gonna be whisking a lot. You're gonna whisk this for a few minutes here. Again, really low heat. We don't want anything to burn. It's gonna thicken up quite a bit to start. Keep doing this until we can kind of smell the nuttiness, the flouriness coming out of that flour, and then we can start to make the bechamel. So now we're at a point, it's been 2 or 3 minutes now, where this roux is kind of a gel-like consistency. Everything's incorporated with everything. I've been pretty much constantly whisking it. So here I have 3 cups of whole milk and 1 cup of heavy whipping cream mixed right out of the fridge. You want this to be cold when you start doing this. And we're gonna drizzle in about 1/4 of this, get this all mixed together until it is consistent. It's getting gloppy, but once we still add more and more, it will be thick. We want it to be kind of the consistency of like a liquidy frosting. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour about 1/2 of the remaining mixture in there. And again, I have this on very, very low heat. And you can see now why we needed this big frying pan. And you'd want to add it in steps like this to avoid lumps. Makes it easier to combine everything. All right, that's pretty well incorporated, so I'm gonna go ahead and add the rest of this. So I'm gonna turn the heat up a little bit. We don't want this to boil. We're gonna heat this up though to thicken it up, let some steam come off it. And anytime it kind of starts bubbling, you gotta make sure to keep whisking it. All right, so I have been stirring this for about 3 or 4 minutes now. And you can see that is very thick. Like, again, the consistency of liquidy icing. You can feel this thickness on the whisk, and that's what you want. So now I got the heat basically off. I have my 5 cups of cheddar here. And again, you could use Gruyère's really good, smoked Gouda, Munster's really good. But I'm gonna take this 5 cups and just add it about a cup at a time and stir that in. So now once we got this incorporated, everything's mixed together nicely. I'm gonna show you how we put it all together. But I mean, before I do that, look at that. It's so ooey gooey, it's amazing. Taste don't waste. I'm glad I did that because we gotta add some pepper, some salt. This is all to taste, hence tasting don't wasting, and some smoked paprika. Okay, that's gonna be better. Give this a taste don't waste, and then I'll see you over at the other table. All right, so now I got my biggest bowl. I poured the noodles in there. I did go through and kind of take out any if they were kind of folded into each other. Make sure they're all kind of separated like these two. So now we're gonna throw that meat in there. This big chunky smoked sausage. Mix that up a little bit. And now I'm just gonna ladle this sauce in a little bit at a time, or a lot at a time. Take a spatula, mix that around. Ooh, baby. Oh my goodness, this is gonna be so good. And now we're at the point where I'm just gonna dump the rest of that in. Ooh, look at that. Get all that good cheese sauce in every nook and cranny of this giant mac and cheese. All right, now I got my 9x13 pan. I sprayed it with cooking spray. I don't even know if I really needed to with how deliciously gooey this stuff is. But we're just gonna ladle this in here, pour this in here, however you wanna get it in there. Now I did kind of mess up. I was supposed to save some of that other cheddar for the topping, about a cup of it. So I just went ahead, shredded a cup more of the cheddar cheese. I got about a cup of shredded Parmigiano Reggiano in there. We're just gonna sprinkle this over the top. You can do breadcrumbs or whatever. I personally don't like breadcrumbs on mac and cheese because mac and cheese is supposed to be ooey gooey, bubbly cheese goodness, and I feel like putting breadcrumbs on it just kind of dries it out a little bit. And I love the way that Parmesan Reggiano will brown up in the oven. If this already looks good to you, feel free to like and subscribe. But we're gonna throw this in the oven at 325 for about 15 minutes until it starts browning and bubbling. And then Spice Droppers, we can try it! Spice Droppers, look at this mac and cheese. That's big! We're gonna let this cool down for about 5 minutes and then, oh, I can't wait to try this. It smells so good, looks amazing. All right, Spice Droppers, this is the real deal. Oh man, this looks so good. Giant shells do something. Oh man. Oh baby. We did it again. Spice Droppers. I believe this is my 101st video. So thank you so much for watching. Peace and love. I love you.